You probably think being a dog sucks because you can't open the fridge. But your story, it started long before squeaky toys and shampoo that smells like oatmeal. Your story started 66 million years ago in the worst possible way, as a half-blind, shivering ball of fur dodging dinosaur feet. You're not a dog yet. You're not even close. You're a glorified meat snack called a proto-mammal, kind of like a rat, but less lucky. While giant lizards rule the planet, your job is simple. Don't die. Hide, eat bugs, and pray no one steps on you. Then, one day, a massive asteroid hits Earth. Boom. Fire everywhere. Sky turns black. Dinosaurs go extinct. And you, somehow, your sorry little ancestor survives. You crawl out of the ashes, blink at the sun, and evolution looks down at you and says, "Fine. You live. Let's see what you do with it." Time passes. Millions of years. You evolve. Slowly, painfully. Your bones change. Your teeth sharpen. Your brain grows. You're not prey anymore. Not always, anyway. You become something called a myacid, a tree-climbing, meat-eating furball. Still not a dog, but the idea of dog is starting to take shape. Then, about 35 million years ago, you become a canid, the family of animals that includes wolves, foxes, and eventually dogs. This is your origin. No collars, no humans, no one saying who's a good boy, just raw survival. You've got legs to chase things, a nose that can smell through time, and instincts to hunt, run, and not trust anything with sharp teeth. You're built by the wild, for the wild. Fast forward a little more, about 2 million years ago, and boom, you're a wolf. Finally, something cool. You're lean, fast, and you run in packs like a real predator. You howl at the moon because you're free to do it. You chase elk for breakfast. You sleep in the snow without whining. No leashes, no neutering. No one calling you Mr. Fluffy Paws. You have earned your place in nature. You made it. But then, you smell cooked meat, and that dear proto-dog is where everything starts going downhill. Hey everyone, quick update. I've started something new for the channel. With every video I post, I'll be releasing exclusive merch tied to it. Since this channel is built on art, it makes sense to bring you designs that are one of a kind and part of the story we're telling here. Right now, you can grab 3 t-shirts in different sizes and colors, bulldog caps, and coffee mugs. Hit the link in the description, and if you get something, tag me. I'd love to feature some of you in future videos rocking the wild merch. Let's make this a community thing. You smell cooked meat. That single step toward the human campfire? Yeah, that's gonna ruin your bloodline. But let's rewind a bit. Because before you were tricked, before you were bred into a breathing potato with anxiety and allergies, you were glorious. You were a wolf, not just any mutt. You were sleek, sharp, and terrifying to anything with hooves. Your paws crushed snow like you owned the planet. Your pack moved like a military unit. And when you howled at the moon, it wasn't sad. It was a warning. You had speed, power, instincts, and a brain built for strategy. No leashes, no collars, no who's a good boy. Because you were, and you already knew it. This was peak dog. This was when life didn't suck. Let's break it down. You lived in the wild, free and respected. You hunted for a living. Elk, bison, even mammoths if you were bold. You traveled with family, raised pups in dens, and defended territory like a war general. You weren't pampered, but you were complete. Your body, built for endurance. You could run miles without collapsing. Your brain, bigger than any future dog will ever have. Your senses, you could smell prey from a kilometer away and detect fear before it happened. Nothing was handed to you, but everything you had, you earned. And most importantly, you were still in charge of your own destiny. You chose your mate, you chose your path, you chose your kill. There was no human telling you when to eat, sleep, or poop. No sweaters, no leashes, no strollers. You didn't chase tennis balls. You chased survival. You didn't beg for treats. You brought home ribs. You didn't do tricks. You did ambushes. This version of you, this was the alpha blueprint, the raw, untamed version of dog that actually mattered. And if evolution had left things here, maybe you'd still have some dignity. But no, something was creeping into your territory, a new kind of predator. Not not faster, not stronger, but something far more dangerous. Humans, hairless, fire-wielding, bone-throwing weirdos, and your instincts, sharp as they are, don't see the trap coming because it doesn't come with fangs. It comes with leftovers. Leftovers. That's how it starts. A tossed bone, a half-burnt rib. You think you're getting a free meal. You think you're outsmarting the humans, but no. They're outsmarting you. Every time you return to that camp, you give up something. A little independence, a little wildness, a little bite. And in return, you get food without the chase, warmth without the fight, and eventually, a place by the fire. Not bad, right? Wrong. Because what starts as a partnership soon becomes a prison with comfy pillows. At first, humans keep you around because you're useful. You bark at threats. You guard their camps. You help them hunt. You're not a pet yet. You're an employee. But slowly, your job description starts to shrink. Your teeth, less necessary. Your hunting drive, meh, not indoors. Your instincts, let's breed those out. Humans begin shaping you, not through evolution, but through domestication. And this time, nature isn't calling the shots. They are. They take your strongest, calmest, most loyal pups and breed them over and over. They select for obedience, docility, food motivation, and that wild edge that made you a wolf gone. Your brain shrinking, literally. You used to solve problems like tracking prey through snowstorms. Now you panic when a vacuum cleaner moves. You become dependent on their food, their rules, their schedule, their affection, and worst of all, you like it. You start wagging your tail when they scratch your head. You forget what it felt like to run 20 miles in the open. You sit for treats. You stay when told. You come when called. You call this loyalty, but nature calls it submission. You're not a wolf anymore. You're something else, something safer, smaller, softer. And humans, they're just getting started. They've tamed your fire. Now they're going to reshape your body. Humans have become your god. So you've given up the hunt, the freedom, and the wild, but at least you still have your body, right? Yeah, not for long, because now we've entered the age of breeding, roughly the last 300 to 500 years. A blink in evolutionary time, but long enough for humans to break you in style. Before this, back in ancient times and the Middle Ages, you were still kind of functional. You guarded sheep, you chased deer, you slept in barns and pulled sleds. People bred dogs for jobs. Need a fast dog, breed the fastest. Need a strong one, breed the strongest. But by the time we hit the 1600s to 1800s, humans got bored and rich humans do weird things with spare time. So they started asking questions like, what if my dog had legs shorter than a loaf of bread? Can we make one that fits in a lady's handbag? Wouldn't it be fun if it looked like it couldn't breathe? And then they made it happen. This is where selective breeding kicks into overdrive. You're no longer bred for survival. You're bred for looks, for fluff, for flat faces, for a tail that spirals like a cinnamon roll. At first, it's still functional. The 1600s give us sleek hunting hounds and sturdy shepherds. The 1700s and 1800s start shaping royal lapdogs, ratters, and fancy pets. But by the Victorian era, late 1800s, things get ugly. Humans invent dog shows. Now you're not just a dog, you're a status symbol, a living trophy. And to win, you have to look exactly like a drawing in a breed manual. And if your legs are too long, your ears too perky, your snout not smashed enough, you're out. So what do breeders do? They start inbreeding, breeding brother to sister, father to daughter, all to keep the perfect traits locked in. Sure, you keep the wrinkles, but now you also get the diseases. Your snout flattened, your spine bent, your knees born broken. You become a medical subscription in fur form. Take the English bulldog. You used to be a beast, a muscular athletic gladiator used in bull baiting sports. But after those sports were banned in 1835, humans redesigned you, made you shorter, stubbier, and sadder. Now, you can't mate naturally. You can't breathe without wheezing. You can't give birth without surgery. Your lifespan, just 6 to 8 years on average. You went from savage to snoring paperweight in 2 centuries, and humans love it. Look at my little gremlin. He sounds like a fax machine and has skin infections, Adorable. No, it's a tragedy in slow motion, and it's not just bulldogs. Dachshunds were bred in the 1600s to hunt badgers. Now they're breaking their backs trying to get off the couch. Cavalier King Charles Spaniels were bred for royalty. Now they suffer brain pressure because their skulls are too small for their brains. Great Danes, once majestic boar hunters, now collapse from heart failure by age 7. Teacup breeds didn't exist before the 2000s. We invented them just so they could be carried and coddled like toys. Every one of these breeds comes with a laundry list of chronic pain and genetic baggage, and guess what? You didn't ask for any of it. You're not evolving anymore. You're being engineered. Your body isn't yours. It's a fashion statement. You're suffering? Just background noise to the sound of your owner saying he's part of the family. And this twisted love story, it's only getting worse. Because next, they give you a job, not the heroic kind, the unpaid, anxiety-inducing PTSD kind. So, humans built you, bent you, bred you, but at least they gave you a purpose, right? Let's talk about your career, because being man's best friend sounds sweet, until you realize it just means unpaid intern with trauma and zero retirement plan. Let's start with herding dogs. You're bred to control sheep in freezing rain on unstable hills for 12 hours straight. No warm couch, no puppuccino, just mud, wind, and judgmental livestock. If you slack off for 5 seconds, you're yelled at in 3 languages and called stubborn. All this, and you don't even get to eat the sheep, just a biscuit and good boy. Then there's the hunting dog. You track down bleeding prey while your human wears camouflage and misses 50% of the shots. You're expected to dive into lakes, fight brush, flush out birds, and somehow come back without a single scratch. And if you don't, you're untrainable. How about war dogs? Yep, that was a thing. And still is. Humans sent your cousins to battlefields to detect mines, carry messages, and run through gunfire. Meanwhile, their human partners had helmets, vests, and backup. You had teeth. Some dogs even parachuted behind enemy lines. Imagine explaining to your wolf ancestors that you jumped out of a plane in World War II so a sergeant could yell, "Fetch the radio." Modern times, not much better. Now you're sniffing explosives in airports, patrolling borders, chasing suspects. And if you fail, people die. No pressure, right? You're given a medal after you're dead, and a folded flag. Meanwhile, your handler gets reassigned. And for those of you not heroic enough for the battlefield or the border, congrats. You get to be an emotional support sponge. You live with someone who cries into your fur, dresses you up as a taco, and takes 47 photos of your paw for Instagram. No breaks, no boundaries, no understanding. You just absorb the trauma and try not to bark during Zoom calls. You were once a wolf that ran with a pack and hunted elk. Now you're in a TSA vest sniffing for C4 near an airport Starbucks. They call it purpose. You call it burnout. And no matter how good you are, you're always replaceable. Okay, you've survived ancient hunts, genetic roulette, and war zones. Surely it gets better now, right? You live indoors, you eat chicken-flavored kibble from a ceramic bowl, you've got chew toys, bandanas, and a TikTok account with 10,000 followers. You made it, except you didn't. Because under the belly rubs and bakery treats lies the truth. You're in prison, a soft, pastel-colored, Pinterest-approved prison. Let's review your luxuries. You want to poop? Ask permission. You want to sniff that interesting bush? Too bad, we're late. You want to chase that squirrel? Sorry, you're on a leash. You're biologically wired to run, chase, hunt, howl, mate, dig, roll, and explore. But you live in a 900 square foot apartment where your greatest thrill is the doorbell ringing. You were built to track prey over 20 miles. Now you're expected to sit still while a toddler puts sunglasses on your face. And those walks you get, those sacred 15 minutes outside, you're pulled along at a human pace, on concrete, next to traffic, in a world of overstimulation where you're not allowed to interact with anything. It's not a walk. It's a hostage transfer. And when you try to act like a dog, bark too much, muzzle, chew something, crate, dig a hole, punishment, try to hump a pillow, social exile. Your instincts, suppressed. Your energy, misunderstood. Your joy, scheduled. Even your sleeping position is judged. Oh my god, he sleeps like a human. Yeah, because he's exhausted from suppressing his entire species' identity. And heaven forbid you act out, chew the wrong shoe, growl at the wrong person. Suddenly you're aggressive, unpredictable. You might even get dumped at a shelter because your owner just didn't have time anymore. You're not spoiled, you're just quiet. You've been given comfort instead of fulfillment, routine instead of instinct, cuddles instead of purpose. And that's what makes it worse. You don't even know what you've lost. You've got a plush bed, filtered water, a raincoat, and a name like Sir Wiggleton of Berkshire. But inside, you're not okay, because while humans were busy giving you bow ties and birthday cakes, they forgot to give you the one thing your wolf ancestors always had, a purpose. And without it, your brain starts to break. You're not meant to sit in silence for 10 hours while your owner works 2 jobs and doom scrolls. You're a pack animal, wired for teamwork, movement, and stimulation. Instead, you stare at the wall, you circle the same apartment, you bark at shadows just to feel something. You have energy with nowhere to go, instincts with nothing to chase, and a heart that wants a pack but gets a Bluetooth speaker that plays calming classical music for dogs. So what happens? You start to crack, you chew your own paws raw, you bark for 6 hours straight, you tremble when it rains, you panic when the vacuum comes out of the closet like it's a hell beast, and when your human finally comes home, you explode with joy. Tail wagging, ears flat, desperate for connection. And they say, ugh, clingy much? You're not clingy, you're starved. For attention, for exercise, for meaning. Let's get real. Modern dogs are facing an anxiety epidemic. 1/3 of dogs have noise phobia. Thunder, fireworks, blenders. Up to 20% suffer separation anxiety. Some dogs literally develop depression. And the solution? Medication, pills, thunder vests, CBD biscuits. The same humans who removed every challenge from your life now try to fix you like a malfunctioning iPhone. And when you're not crying into a thunder shirt, you're being filmed. Every bark, every sneeze, every confused head tilt. Content. You're not a companion. You're the star of a comedy series you never signed up for. You used to howl to communicate across mountains. Now your howl gets auto-tuned and posted on TikTok with the caption, when your dog thinks he is people. But here you are, a 60% chance you're overweight. A lifetime supply of multivitamins, joint meds, and anxiety chews. Your knees ache, your gut sags, your breath smells like regret. All because humans loved you too much. And in all the wrong ways. You used to run with wolves. Now you waddle for snacks. You pant in an air-conditioned room because your snout was bred out of functionality. You've got wrinkles so deep they get infected if not cleaned with a cotton swab dipped in prescription cream. Your ancestors didn't have allergies. You have 12. And when it hurts too much to stand, when your organs start giving out, you're wrapped in a blanket, told you're a good boy, and quietly put down. Loved to the very end, but never allowed to live the way you were meant to, because somewhere along the line, love got twisted. It stopped being about partnerships and became about control. You were turned into a product, a toy, a mascot, a fur baby, a source of comfort, not a creature with instincts, drives, and dignity. And what makes it worse? You gave everything. You trusted, you adapted, you endured, you obeyed, you performed, you stayed, you were the perfect companion. And still, you lost your freedom, you lost your pack, you lost your purpose. There's a version of you that never got neutered, never wore a costume, never forgot what it meant to howl because the night called you, not because the baby monitor picked up a siren. There's a version of you that lived and died wild. It didn't live long, but it lived free. You survived the asteroid. You conquered the ice age. You evolved teeth, instincts, empathy, but you couldn't survive humans saying, "Aw, he looks cute when he can't breathe." You deserved better. Not a stroller, not another photo shoot, not a sweater that says little dude. You deserve to chase, hunt, dig, roam. You deserve to pick your mate, to howl without being told, shh. You were a legend once. Now you're a breed standard with a heart murmur. So if there's another life after this one, don't come back as a dog. Come back as the asteroid. Finish what you started. Hey everyone, quick update. I've started something new for the channel. With every video I post, I'll be releasing exclusive merch tied to it. Since this channel is built on art, it makes sense to bring you designs that are one of a kind and part of the story we're telling here. Right now, you can grab 3 t-shirts in different sizes and colors, bulldog caps, and coffee mugs. Hit the link in the description, and if you get something, tag me. I'd love to feature some of you in future videos rocking the wild merch. Let's make this a community thing.